Welcome back to Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry, the show where we pour something smooth, speak something real, and explore the kind of chemistry that can handle anything, even conversations about money. I'm your host, ChaFai. Tonight's topic is one of the sexiest and most stressful things in relationships: money, ambition, and expectations. So this episode is called The Real Cost of Love. Because nothing exposes chemistry faster than how two people handle pressure, priorities, and the future. You can be madly in love, attracted, connected, vibing, but let a bill come due. Let someone's dream cost money. Let expectations go unspoken. And suddenly, the romance can get really quiet. So go ahead, pour something for yourself and light something if you are smoking with me tonight. And let's get right on down to grown folk business. Before we go any further, let's check the energy in the room, because conversations about money don't just live in the mind, they also live in the body. So wherever you are right now, take a deep breath. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, roll your neck around. Let's prepare ourselves, because money can make us tense. It can make us guarded. It can make us feel like there's something that we need to protect. But tonight isn't about proving anything. It's about understanding. See, some of us grew up watching money stress turn up the temperature in the house quicker than the thermostat ever could. Some of us grew up promising ourselves that we would do better. Some of us learned to associate love with provision. We learn to associate safety with stability. So if this topic makes you feel a little tight in the chest, that's normal. Hell, it makes me feel that way too. This isn't a debate. This is a conversation. You don't have to defend your story. You don't have to try to explain why you do the things that you do. You just have to try to understand it. So whatever you're drinking, sip it slow. Take slow pulls of your cigar and relax. Let your nervous system relax, because chemistry flows best when the energy is calm. And now that we are somewhat grounded, let's set the tone the right way. Tonight, I am pouring a blackberry champagne old fashioned. Yes, champagne. Yes, I made it up. And yes, it hits. So I threw out the name ChaFai Nightcap for these little made up concoctions a few episodes ago. Y'all wasn't feeling it. That's cool. So the next name I'm going to throw out is a personal pour from ChaFai. Tell me what y'all think about that. Because sometimes the best recipes come from knowing what you like and trusting your own flavor, which is what I did with this. And this blackberry champagne old fashioned is giving sweet, bold, and a little unexpected, just like the conversations we have here at Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry. Because this episode, it isn't about flashy money. It's about balanced money. So here's what's in this personal pour. A base of blackberry whiskey. It's grounded, steady. It's the dependable energy. A touch of simple syrup. It offers softness, comfort, and emotional ease. Now, If you want to add a few dashes of bitters, please go ahead. Using something that has a little sweetness to it. I think I talked about a certain type on an episode before, but I didn't mention a name. So just look for a type of bitter that has a little spice, but also a little orangey sweetness to it. And that can bring experience, lessons in real life. And I must admit, I'm starting to warm up to bitters. I get it, bartenders, don't get me wrong. I still don't want bitterness in my chemistry, but in my drinks, sometimes I will allow it. But I don't have it in this one. Anyway, it's finished with champagne, and that's bringing ambition, elevation, and celebration. This drink says you can want more without losing your center. You can be ambitious and emotionally stable. And you can build a future without burning yourself out. Because ambition without grounding, that's just chaos. And grounding without vision is stagnation. So how do you build this wonderful concoction? See, you don't just make this drink. This drink is built. You're going to add about 2 ounces of blackberry whiskey, about a half ounce of simple syrup, a couple of dashes of bitters if you want it, and the champagne is going on the top. So it's simple: whiskey, simple syrup, champagne, and stir with intention. You can add ice if you like, but stir slowly. It's with intention. So it's not rushed, it's not sloppy, and it's not shaken. Let it chill and settle before you drink it. Then you elevate this drink with champagne. Top it gently. Don't just pour the champagne on there. Everything is done with intention. See, the champagne is the ambition layer. It's light, bubbly, and refined. And then you sip it slowly and taste every flavor. This isn't a drink it fast cocktail. This is a feel the balance cocktail. Now on the ash side, what I got? I heard you say it, and you are right, family. I've got a medium-bodied, smooth cigar. It's not aggressive. It's not timid. It's just confident in its own lane, exactly where I like to be. Don't y'all like to be in your own lane? How many times have you been driving and said, "Stay in your lane," or "Why is this person coming over into my lane?" Being in your own lane, steering your own destiny, is exactly where you belong. Because conversations shouldn't feel like combat. They should feel like collaboration. And a good cigar does not rush you. It teaches you patience. It asks you to sit still long enough to understand what exactly you are holding. Just like real conversations about money. So take a sip with me, and remember, we are sipping slowly. Now, take a draw and tap the ash. Now let's talk about what money really means in relationships. You see, money is never just money. Money hits different in relationships because it isn't just math. It's memory, it's meaning, it's muscle memory in your nervous system. Money carries your childhood, what you saw, what you lacked, what stressed your parents out, what made the house real quiet, what made people argue, or what made people feel small. Money carries your promises to yourself. Things like, I will never struggle like that. I will never depend on anyone. I will never feel powerless again. Or I'll make sure that my future looks different. So when money comes up in a relationship, it doesn't just touch your wallet. It touches your story. For some people, money means I'm safe now. For others, it means I finally have control. And for a lot of us, it means, please don't let me repeat what I watched growing up. That's why money conversations feel personal, because they're connected to your identity, not just your income. When someone says, we need to talk about money, what they're often really saying is, I need to feel secure with you. I need to trust the future we're building, or I need to know I'm not carrying this alone. So when people argue about spending, saving, or earning, it's rarely about the numbers. It's usually about feeling respected, feeling protected, feeling like the effort is mutual, and feeling like the future is shared. Money becomes emotional because it touches survival. And survival lives in the body before it ever reaches the brain. That's why a simple question can feel like pressure. A small concern can feel like criticism, and a budget conversation can feel like judgment. Trust me, I know. Not because the topic is wrong, but because the meaning behind it runs deep. So I have to tell you something personal, and this is real. There was a time in my life when I was in a long-term relationship and I was struggling financially. Not dramatic struggling, not the lights getting turned off struggling, but quiet struggling. The kind where you are still showing up fabulous, still handling your business, still saying, I'm good, even though you know you are not. And inside, you are tired. And what made it harder wasn't the money itself. It was the fear of asking for help. Because somewhere along the way, I learned that needing support felt like weakness. I told myself, well, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to look like I can't handle my life or my finances. And I don't want to change how they see me. So instead of speaking up, I carried it quietly. I paid what I could. I stressed in silence. I smiled through the pressure. And the whole time I was in a relationship, what was supposed to be a partnership. But I wasn't partnering. I was protecting my pride. And what I didn't realize back then was this: asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. And honesty is what builds real security. Because when you hide your struggles, you're not protecting the relationship. You are keeping it from growing. You are saying, I'll carry this alone, when love is supposed to say, let me carry this with you. That experience taught me something. Money struggles don't break relationships. silence does. Because the moment I finally spoke up, the energy shifted. Not because the money magically appeared, but because I wasn't carrying the weight by myself anymore. And that's the kind of security we're really looking for, not just financial, but emotional. Now, let me give you the other side. I once had a conversation with a man who was smart, driven, always focused on the next level. He would tell me, I don't mind working hard, I don't mind grinding, but what gets heavy is feeling like I'm only valued for what I provide. He wasn't afraid of responsibility. He was tired of feeling like his love had a price tag. Every time money came up, his chest tightened, not because he didn't care, but because he felt like his worth was being measured. He wanted to be loved for who he was, not just what he could afford or provide. And that hit home for me, because men don't always need more pressure. Sometimes they need reassurance. And women, I think that sometimes we forget that men need reassurance. We want them to be emotionally intelligent for us. Then we act like they are so strong that we don't need to be emotionally intelligent for them. They need to know that their effort is seen, that their presence matters more than their money, that their value isn't tied to a bank account. Money didn't scare him, feeling replaceable did. And once you understand that, you stop hearing conversations about money as demands. You start hearing them as a desire for connection. So now that we understand money isn't just currency, it's communication, let's talk about how that language sounds different depending on whether you're speaking from pressure or from the need for stability. Because men and women often want the same outcome, but we experience the journey very differently. Let's take a sip before we talk about what financial security means to men versus women. And I'm going to take a puff. Now, for a lot of people, money doesn't just feel like money. It feels like identity, peace, pressure, and relief. And the reason it hits so deep in relationships is because money isn't just about what you have. It's also about what you've been through. For many men, financial security feels like who they are. It sounds like, I can handle this, I can provide, I won't let us fall. Because a lot of men were raised in a world where love is appreciated, but respect is earned. Money became one of the loudest ways to prove I'm reliable, I'm capable, I'm not a risk. So even when a man is emotionally present, consistent, showing up in every other way, if he feels financially behind, it can hit him like, none of that counts if I can't secure the foundation. That's not because of ego, it's because of conditioning. Because money is tied to responsibility, meaning if something goes wrong, it's on me. Money is tied to respect, meaning people take me seriously when I'm doing well. money is tied to self-worth, meaning if I can't produce, I'm failing. And money is tied to legacy, meaning I'm supposed to leave something behind. So when finances feel unstable, it doesn't just feel inconvenient, it feels personal. And when a man hears things like, "Are we okay financially?" sometimes his body may hear, "Am I enough? Am I failing? Am I about to disappoint this person?" So he may tighten up. He may get quiet. He may work harder. He may avoid the conversation. Because for some men, money doesn't feel like a topic. It feels like a test. Now, for women, financial security doesn't feel like identity. It feels like peace. It feels like I can breathe. I don't have to worry. I feel supported. Because a lot of women weren't just raised to survive. They were raised to manage. Manage emotions, relationships, households, and expectations. So money becomes tied to relief. Relief from stress, relief from uncertainty, relief from carrying everything alone. When a woman asks about money, she's often not asking about numbers. She's asking about stability. Can I relax here? Or safety. Am I protected? She's asking about predictability. Do I know what tomorrow looks like? And she may be asking for partnership. Am I building with someone, or am I just beside him? So when she asks, "Are we okay financially?" what she may mean is, can I exhale? Can I trust the foundation? Can I stop bracing for impact? Because for women, peace is sexy. Stability is sexy. Consistency is sexy. Clarity is sexy. See, chaos might feel exciting for a moment, but peace is what makes a woman feel safe enough to stay. So here's where the misunderstanding lives. Men hear evaluation. Women hear uncertainty. Men feel pressure. Women feel the need for peace. Same conversation, different nervous systems. That's why conversations about finances can feel tense, even when both people care. Nobody is trying to hurt the other person. They are just trying to feel secure in different ways. So the chemistry shift happens when the language changes. Instead of saying, "Are we okay financially?" try saying something like, "I feel calmer when I understand our plan." Instead of saying things like, "You need to make more money," try, "I want us to feel stable together." Because when men feel respected, they open up. And when women feel safe, they soften. And that's where real chemistry lives. Not in the numbers, in the alignment. Here's your chemistry moment. I want you to sit somewhere quiet. Pour something for yourself, whatever it is that helps you relax. Wine, whiskey, water. And answer these 3 questions honestly for yourself. Number 1, what does financial security mean to me? Is it peace, freedom, consistency, control, or finally feeling like you've made it. Number 2, what scares me about money? Is it losing it, not having enough, depending on someone, or feeling like you are falling behind? Number 3, what does stability look like in my ideal relationship? Does it look like shared responsibility, clear communication, emotional support, or knowing that you are not carrying everything alone? No judgment, no pressure, just clarity. Because when you understand your relationship with money, you stop projecting expectations onto people who don't even know what it is you're asking for. And here is the real grown folk truth. Expectations shape the future before love ever does. Love brings the feelings, but expectations determine the foundation. And when your expectations are clear, your chemistry has somewhere solid to land. Now that you have checked your energy, understood your story, and named your expectations, let's raise our glasses and let's toast to conversations that don't avoid the numbers, to partners who talk about money without losing the magic, to chemistry that feels good and makes sense. Because real connection is built on clarity, not assumptions. Until next time, keep your glass full, your mind open, and your chemistry secure. The next round's on me. Don't be late.